out of nowhere, 6.5, not million, but billion view mega viral Democrat propaganda sensation Midas Touch Network is, in their words,
just completely pathetic.
Yeah, I'd say being a part of a law firm that represents this guy and these guys and this guy is completely pathetic.
Just completely pathetic.
Stay tuned for more where everything they touch doesn't exactly turn to gold.
Just completely pathetic.
Just let it sink in. Ben Meiselas from the Midas Touch Network lives to expose just how bad Trump is while he and his law firm represents and defends people like Scott Peterson and Sean Kid Diddler P. Diddy Combs.
God damn.
Exposing propagandists is a key ingredient in carving out more freedoms for Americans in this American experience. And one of the people that I think it's important for us to expose is this guy, Ben Meiselas. And Ben Meiselas is one of the owners, one of the three owners of the Midas Touch Network. And lest you think this ain't no big deal, they at one point moved into the top podcasting spot in the world above the Joe Rogan Experience, and they boast 6.6 billion YouTube views, and over 8 million views per day are constantly being added to their network, to their channel. This doesn't include other social media outlets that they might have. Ben Meiselas, I'll give you a little bit of background, but I just want to point out that this leftist, Democrat, progressive propagandist is as hypocritical as anybody on the right, as anybody else on the left. But the dangerous part about people like this is they are more popular and have gained far more traction than other people on the left. And here's just one example. This video is entitled "Fox News Panics on Live TV as Trump Loses Control."
There's almost nothing worse than state regime media known as Fox. They know that the key to brainwashing their audience is projection. You literally take what Donald Trump is doing and then you attack the other side for doing it. It happens over and over again. Donald Trump gives a disastrous commencement speech, somehow attack Democrats for commencement speech. Donald Trump whines that he's being persecuted and pity me. You then go after Democrats for that. Issue by issue, you'll see that's what state regime media known as Fox has been doing. It was doing it last night. For example,
state regime media like the counterfeit news network, CNN, ABC, always broadcasting crap, always broadcasting crack. NBC, nothing but crap. These are all state regime propaganda, CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra media outlets. And I suspect that the Midas Touch Network under Ben Meiselas is the same thing. Who funds them? What describe this rise to stardom? Look at this chart right here from Social Blade. You can see that back in June of 2022, they had 26 million views. I can't go beyond, let's see, can I go beyond? I can't go beyond June of 2022. But beyond that, they were flatlined, 0, couple thousand views. All of a sudden, they explode on the scene. And now you've got 26 million views, 58 million views. This is per month, guys, 151 million views. Goes all the way up to 382 million views per month. These people are making $40,000 to $50,000 every single day, just on the YouTube platform, just under Google AdSense. Who is funding them? They're not even that good. They're not as good as some of these other progressive networks. He's not as good of a communicator. He just does these little sound bites that they have capitalized on and makes commentary videos after splicing together videos against Donald Trump. Donald Trump is an easy target, guys. Low-hanging fruit, if you will. But Ben Meiselas has never discussed, and I'm going to give you a little bit of background about Ben Meiselas. He is a partner with a particular law firm, and we'll get back to that in a minute or two. Listen to this.
Have Laura Ingraham saying, you know, there's
Ingraham. Ingraham.
Just nothing worse than someone who pretends to be persecuted while ignoring real persecution. You mean Donald Trump? You mean you? You mean everybody in Donald Trump's cabinet? Here, play this clip.
There's nothing worse than someone who pretends to be persecuted while ignoring real persecution, or pretends to be the keeper of the truths when associated with a network that did everything it could to protect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, even editing an interview with the VP to make her look smarter.
As Fox News and Laura Ingraham do everything they can to protect Donald Trump and look away when he does stuff that's unconstitutional. So Ben Meiselas does have a point here. That doesn't mean Ben Meiselas is on your side or on the side of any American. This guy is completely pro-gun control, completely in the tank for psychopathically controlled, elitist controlled, democratic political parasites.
Even editing an interview with the VP to make her look smarter.
And then Laura Ingraham is like, and everybody's just attacking me. Right after that, they call me the high priestess of hate. Pity me and my hundreds of millions of dollars. Watch, right after she said the other thing. Here, play this clip.
They cannot have dialogue. They cannot actually go onto the merits of why they are right or why we might be wrong. Instead, they must smear us with the age-old one-liner that you are a racist or that you are a hater. And they're finally realizing the power of Turning Point USA, which is why they put us on this
Well, when you're
list.
effective, you're a threat, right?
That's
so
right.
they called me the high priestess of hate, right?
Maybe the high priest of hate.
Sam, is that what they call me?
They call me the high priestess of hate.
I'm just...
Congratulations.
2008. Oh, it's old. It's so old.
So then you bring on Donald Trump's chief propagandist, Caroline Levitt. And Caroline Levitt goes, you know, the real...
She is the chief propagandist. That's what the White House press secretary is. They might as well call it the White House press propagandist. But that's also the same thing that you could say about any administration with any press secretary. Only Ben Meiselas is so dishonest and so hypocritical, he won't launch any criticism at the Democrat Party.
The real issue right now is that we don't need LGBTQ Harvard grads. What we really need is electricians and plumbers. Much more of that, much less Harvard grads. It's such an odd way of framing things. You think that there's somehow a zero-sum game here? But again, this is the message that state regime media coordinates with the authoritarian regime, the Trump regime, and spews these messages while attacking our higher learning institutions like Harvard. Here, play this clip.
And the president is more interested in giving that taxpayer money to trade schools and programs in state schools where they are promoting American values, but most importantly, educating the next generation based on skills that we need. And
state schools are promoting American values like what? Robbery, tyranny, and police state propaganda?
our economy and our society, apprenticeships, electricians, plumbers. We need more of those in our country and less LGBTQ graduate majors from Harvard University. And that's what this administration's position is. And we also are not going to tolerate the illegal criminal anti-Semitic behavior that we saw take place at Harvard and many other college campuses across the country.
And this isn't a win for Fox. This isn't a win for America. You literally have China, Canada, the EU, and elsewhere. They are salivating at the opportunity to get the best students to study there. As Donald Trump destroys the value of the dollar and destroys the American brand as a safe place for the international community to put its money, European Union, Canada, China, they're just sitting there saying, why don't you invest in us? What we're seeing here.
Name a president, name one, Ben, that hasn't been used as a political pawn and puppet to destroy the value of the American dollar, which means destroying the time and laboring energies of every single American. Just name one. Now, let me give you a little bit of background about Ben. Ben and Brett and Jordan are all three brothers who work for and own the Midas Touch Network. He was born in 1989. He's the eldest brother and prominent civil rights attorney and litigator based in Los Angeles. He's a partner at Garagos and Garagos, which is a well-known California litigation firm, and also lectures at USC Law School. His notable legal work includes representing former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick in his lawsuit against the NFL and leading a class action lawsuit against the organizers of the 2017 Fire Festival. Ben and his law firm partner, Mark Garagos, represented high-profile people like Mike Tyson, Susan McDougal, Juicy Smollett.
Juicy Smollett is a very famous French actor.
The Menendez brothers, Scott Peterson, Hunter Biden, and get this, Sean P. Diddy Combs. Maybe that's how the Midas Touch Network has greased the wheels of viral success.
Just completely pathetic.
Yeah, I'd say being a part of a law firm that represents this guy and these guys and this guy is completely pathetic.
Just completely pathetic.
And it's self-defeating as well. Then you have Caroline Leviter refer to whatever the heck happened with the United Kingdom as miraculous. She goes, we're focused now on the European Union after that miraculous deal with the United Kingdom. Here, play this clip.
For the trade talks, since you mentioned them, I was just going back and forth with our United States Trade Representative, Jamieson Greer, who informed me that the Trump administration continues to be in intensive talks with India, and the president, of course, has applied very public pressure to the European Union so that they, too, can have a miraculous trade deal just like we cut with Britain and our friends in the United Kingdom. So we continue to move forward in cutting good deals that put the American people.
I got to admit, Caroline is a really, really good and convincing and articulate liar.
And the American worker.
Even better, she's a better liar than Ben Meisalas.
First.
The miraculous deal? You mean the memorandum of understanding that's not even a deal, where it literally says this is not a binding deal? And the only thing it did, if it did anything at all, was provide exemptions and benefits for Jaguar, Land Rover, and Rolls-Royce in the United Kingdom, who now have more advantageous terms with the American consumer than American car manufacturers like General Motors and Ford. But that's what the Trump regime is all about. So
he never referred to the Biden administration as the Biden regime. Ben Meisalas, neither Ben Meisalas nor his brothers ever exposed the Biden regime as being funded and undergirded by the corporately run DNC. Never a word of criticism.
Under former President Biden, the United States objectively, the data was leading the world. Now under Donald Trump, we're trailing the world. Under Biden, record GDP growth, leading the world. Record job growth.
As though that had to do with Biden and not the tweaks from the central Zio banking cartel known as the Federal Reserve.
Record low unemployment. Energy independent, the most energy production in the world, 40,000 infrastructure projects, the markets over, those 4 years up 40 to 50%, all good data. And under Donald Trump, it's been the opposite. It's been a disaster. When Donald Trump promised he would make things more affordable, that's not what's happened at all. It's just more propaganda from Caroline Levitt that you see right there. So then you bring in FDA commissioner, and this FDA commissioner, he goes on Fox to brag about their new policy of withholding COVID boosters and COVID vaccines from people who they deem to be not worthy of it, to people who they deem to be healthy under the age of 65. You're not going to be allowed to get COVID vaccines anymore under their proposal. Here.
So Ben Meisalas is bemoaning this, which means he supports and promotes and approves of the big pharma, Pfizer, Moderna industrial complex. Got it.
We talked about the risk calculation that young kids didn't need it. They didn't suffer from COVID. They didn't need to run the risk of the shot. Did that factor into your decision as well, that we're not appropriately measuring the risk of vaccine injury for someone who may not be getting the benefit designed because they weren't at risk for COVID.
Well, as you know, Will, hundreds of thousands of Americans have claimed that they have been injured by the COVID vaccine. And so we've got to listen. It takes a lot of time to do a proper analysis that hasn't been done to date, and it's got to go into factored into the equation. Now, the recommendation was really based on the voice of many doctors across the country who have said, look at the rest of the world, look at Europe, and look at where we are. We need a more science-based, evidence-based approach.
And again, what you're going to have to go to like get black market COVID vaccines. They're affirmatively depriving the American.
It sounds like Ben is against a scientific, evidence-based approach to, is this something we need to be doing? Do we need to really inject these things into the veins of these people? Is that really necessary? Where's the science? Where's the evidence to support it?
American people of that. And by the way, you had RFK Jr. and the FDA guy attacking the New England Journal of Medicine as well and saying nobody likes that. That's not real stuff right there. These are dangerous people. We don't even know the extent of the measles outbreak.
A guy who's promoting a dangerous potion and a known organization, Pfizer, with a criminal history, a long criminal history, which includes fraudulent marketing practices where they had to pay out 2.3, not million, but $1 billion for people who were harmed by their drug Bactrim. And this guy's going to stand at the plate and go to bat for these people against Americans? Doesn't that really tell you everything you need to know about Ben Meidaas and Midas Touch Network?
I show you these because I want you to know the anatomy of the lie and the disinformation.
The guy who's spewing lies and disinformation and propaganda wants you to know about the anatomy of the lie. That's where we're at. If you want me to do a little bit deeper of a dive into the Midas Touch Network and the Meidaas brothers, let me know in the comment section below. There's a lot to unpack and uncover. I'll try to make it into a very succinct video because, like I said, these people are rising stars in the political left, gaining over 8 to 10 million views every single day, making boatloads of money. There is factual based evidence that they were part of a Democrat super PAC and that they have political ties and entertainment ties and sports ties that probably need to be uncovered because it sounds like they're getting a lot of outside funding, and that's one of the reasons they become so popular and top shelved in the algorithm. Again, that's the Midas Touch Network. If you like these videos, do me a favor. You can do me a free favor. Just like this video, share this video with everybody you know. Become a channel member. Support me on Patreon and Cash App. Leave your thoughts in the comments below because that really gets the algorithmic juices flowing. Subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification icon, and I will see you in the next video.